Hello, I'm Clarence Waldron. Welcome back to Black Muse. Tonight's guest is Troy Pryor. He is the founder and chairman of XL Film Festival in Chicago. This is the only black-owned film festival in Chicago. This is a major, major deal. He's also head of Creative Cipher, and he also is the co-chair of the Harvest Film Festival here in Chicago. So I think he knows a little bit about film. Let's get started. Hey, what's up?
I'm good.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So let's start at the very beginning. You've always dreamed of this XL film situation. Tell me more about how did it get started?
You know, it really came about as a means to an end. The goal was to create platforms for black and brown creators, and that's what Creative Cipher, the organization, was built on. So we would support creators, help them bring their projects to life, do grant programs, all of the different things, connect them with industry professionals. And so what we launched first was the Accelerator Development Lab, which is a 6 to 12 month lab to help rising creators gain access to resources so they can bring their concepts to life, their television concepts to life. The festival came about because we wanted to provide them a showcase opportunity. So once they complete that process, how does the world know about their projects? So we wanted to do that, and we first partnered with other film festivals, but as you mentioned earlier, a lot of those film festivals were, if they were black targeted, they were not necessarily black owned. So we wanted to make sure that there was alignment, and that's really where the festival came from.
Okay. Now, what's the purpose of mission of the festival? What's the purpose of the...
So there are three main objectives with the festival. Number one, there's no destination film festival in Chicago, meaning that people around the country are not necessarily booking their tickets in advance to come to some of the existing film festivals like they do for the music festivals. When you think about Lollapalooza, when you think about some of the other music festivals, you immediately know that you need to leave early, you got to change your travel plans. It's a part of the city's atmosphere now. And so we want to be able to do that with this festival, similar to how Sundance, South by Southwest is in other parts of the country. So that's number one, creating a tourism opportunity. Number two is creating a market. Most film festivals in general, but especially the ones in Chicago, are more showcases, which is great. However, that only means that if you're a creator, the most that you'll get out of that is possibly an opportunity to show your work. Maybe you win an award, maybe even win some money out of that. Well, a market is different, a film market is different. That means that when you're creating your project, you have the opportunity to sell or license. So there's some transactions that go on, and that's one of the things that we've been doing with the organization. So we're going to implement that into the festival. That means that if you're a creator, you're not only going to get the opportunity to show your work, but you also have buyers that are attending the festival that are a part of this because they're specifically looking to license and acquire content. That's a huge plus for a creator.
Yeah, okay, very well thought out. Yeah, now you have some big names coming, Robert Townsend and Dion Cole. Tell me about that. What would they do and all of that?
Well, this really cool guy a long time ago connected me with Robert Townsend. Let me see, who was that? Who was that guy? Yeah, so I appreciate that. It's so amazing how God works out, things come full circle, but we're very blessed that Robert Townsend has agreed to be one of the speakers. The fact that he's from Chicago and what he's done with his career and what he's doing now, it just makes so much sense for him to be a part of this this component here. So we'll have a one-on-one conversation with Robert Townsend on day 2 of the festival. So we're really excited about that. We'll talk about his journey, and obviously he's dropping gems for those in the audience, which he does so often, which we're just grateful to be in the mix. And then Dion Cole, another Chicagoan, I was fortunate enough to work with a couple years ago, who's doing amazing things as well. We've got some few other folks from Chicago involved, like Lil Rel and a few other people. So we're just excited because it's great to have them on stage, but it's amazing that so many of the people on stage are from Chicago.
Right. So tell us the date of the festival. We haven't said that yet.
Sure. So the XL Film Festival is August 18th through the 20th. The first day is in Bronzeville, day 2 is in Hyde Park, and day 3 is back in Bronzeville.
Okay. We're in Bronzeville.
So we'll be at the legendary Parkway Ballroom. on August 18th, so the first day. So we're taking over the Parkway Ballroom. We have all of our programming and speaking engagements and screenings going on that day. We build out the AV on the inside, and on the outside, we're taking over the parking lot and doing a big drive-in movie experience at Parkway. The next day in Hyde Park, we're at the Polsky Center on 53rd, right with the University of Chicago. So all of the activity will be inside there.
Okay. All right, very well thought out. Now, you're the founder of Creative Cipher, and your goal is to eliminate the need for permission. That quote just grabbed me. What did you mean by that?
So we used to say not asking for permission, and that still indicates that something has to be said. We wanted to make sure that the creators were so unlimited that it was never even a conversation needed. The only way to do that, from our perspective, was ownership. So that's really where it goes. That's really where it comes into play. So when you think about the business model for Creative Cipher, it was all built in an effort to have stake or ownership in the supply chain of content creation, because there's so many creators, especially creators of color, for generations that have been able to create masterpieces but may have not owned that work, or even if they created it and even if they owned it, are still not in a place where media can where they can control the narrative around that. So we look at 5 different sectors as content, live events, which was like film festivals, screening opportunities, distribution, marketing, and media. And so if we can have a stake in all of those 5 areas, it will allow us to have to own the supply chain. So that helps us empower creators, so they don't get to a door and they're still waiting to get in somehow.
Okay. Now, you also are co-chair of the Black Harvest Film Festival. When is that? When does that happen?
So this year, that's going to happen. That will happen in November. Historically, it happened in the summertime, and the pandemic, everything got pushed back, so we moved that back. That's at the Gene Siskel Film Center. I've been the co-chair of that festival for the past 4 years. I sat on the council before that, and prior to that, I was an actor in the festival and a speaker, and they asked me to co-chair it a couple of years ago. So we're really excited about that. That program is a function of the Gene Siskel Film Center and the School of the Art Institute.
Okay. Let's plug the festival. Where can we get tickets and all that?
So to get tickets for the XL Film Festival, those will go live on eventnoir.com. You'll be able to go to creativecipher.org, and you can see all of the information there. Click on that ticket, get your ticket, and come out.
All right. Is there any must-see films that you've heard of that we need to go check out?
Yeah, there's one film that we're really excited about. It's called Mr. Abbott, and it's about the founder of The Defender. So one of the filmmakers on our team's great-grandmother actually played a role in ensuring he had an office space when he was building that empire from the very beginning. And I don't want to give too much away from that, but it's just an amazing piece with the narration and spoken word, and it's a really great piece by Patrick Wimp, who was actually the head of the film school at Second City, and one of my creative partners. We sold the project to Warner a couple of years ago, so we're really excited about that piece. Wow. And it's actually something that we're going to continue to work on and grow into an even bigger project.
Okay, all right. Now, I know you as an actor. So have you sort of left that behind to get behind the scenes in the film world, or where are you with that?
I would say I took more of a lateral step, and for me it was I remember waiting to hear back from a casting director for a particular project, and it just dawned on me, and I said, this can't be it. This can't be it, where I'm just waiting for someone to say we like you, or my career is in the hands of someone else. And I had always been blessed. I come from a family full of clergy and community leaders, so even though I was on projects as a talent, there were some transferable skills that allowed me to function on sets where my counterparts may have not been able to. And so what that means is I'm connecting with everybody on set. So over a couple of years, I walk away with this huge Rolodex, and eventually I look at my phone and I say, why am I waiting for a casting director to give me a shot? And I already know who the casting director's working for. You know, I already know all these people, and sometimes, you know, when you count your blessings, you realize what you already have access to, but systematically, in a variety of ways, we're taught to wait for the opportunity instead of creating it. And sometimes we don't even realize what we have the potential to do. And so for me, that lateral step was not to no longer act. It was just to make sure that I was also putting energy to ensure that I could create my own opportunities to do that. And then that spawned my career as a producer, an executive producer.
Got it. Now, you were on Chicago Fire.
Yeah.
What kind of experience was that?
It was a fun experience. It was one of the main projects I worked on. I had done a lot more commercials and voiceover work. Candidly, it was a great experience, but from a business standpoint, it was, I would not pick that over the commercial work, because the commercial work comes with a different type of residual, and it's not, it's like, do you want to be famous, or do you want, do you want to have, you know, a check? So it's good to have on your resume, but one of the things that even in that experience was very sobering is the character I played restricted me from doing anything else in the entire Dick Wolf world of shows. So it was great to begin with, but I could no longer audition for Chicago PD, for Med, or any of the other shows for a total of 3 seasons. Ooh. So that sound, and it looked great, but it also restricted me from doing other things. And I understand it, because from a production standpoint, you need continuity. Right. Like, we just saw this guy as this role, and these 3 shows are connected, so we can't bring him back. Right. So totally understand it. Right. But from my vantage point, that limited my ability to do other things. So it became another point of reference to know, like, that sounds good, and being in front of the camera is great. Being a talent is awesome, but depending on how you navigate that experience, it could limit you from other things.
Right, got it. Now, go back. You played football at the University of Illinois, and what was your degree in? What was your
communications. So I was in communications at U of I, and it's done very well for me.
Okay, yeah, it has. Yes, indeed. So, but how has it helped you? Exactly, even now.
You know, I always tell people, even to this day, I didn't realize the skill set that I was picking up even before I got to U of I. And U of I, you know, going through the different curriculum that I went through just gave me some other tools to work with. But social media has been such a blessing in a variety of ways, but it's also restricted or stifled some of the interpersonal communication skills that earlier generations have had and you've had to use. And so what I've noticed in my walk of life, especially as when I was elected to some of the boards, I was the youngest in the history elected to the Screen Actors Guild Board Chicago. And so I just noticed that I had the ability to navigate conversations a bit differently, and that helps in an abundance of ways, no matter what profession. And it's great that I knew how to operate on a stage, so I could pull some skills from being a showman, but that skill set, being able to communicate, whether it's interpersonal, whether it's public speaking, whether it's media related, it is a game changer, especially if you're working in entertainment.
Right. Now, you also have your own podcast.
Yes.
Where can we listen to that?
So you can listen to the Cipher Live podcast on Spotify and Apple. If you go to creativecipher.org, you can just click on podcast, and it'll take you to that as well. And that really all came about because during the pandemic, I was just doing so many interviews and virtual roundtables and just talking to folks. And I said, you know, I might as well use this and turn it into some type of content. So I'm really excited about the show. We just started it last year. Okay. Got some really great guests on, and so we're excited about the direction it's going now.
Yeah, good. Now, this is our video podcast, Black Muse. And I always ask everybody, who inspired you? when you look back at your life, who said, I think that Troy is going to be somebody. He's going to make it. Who were your early cheerleaders, if you will?
Wow, that is, you know, how do you narrow that down? I listened to one of the gentlemen that has inspired me in the past, Lewis Carr. He talks about waymakers, and it's no one waymaker, but I always pay homage to someone who I actually never met in person, and that's my great-grandfather. He was a very prominent minister, helped start congregations around the country, and was known as the peacemaker when congregations were having doctrinal disputes. But you wouldn't know he passed to this day just because of the way in which my family's treated in certain circles. That his impact was tremendous on my family, but what it did was it started a mindset within my family to become entrepreneurs, to be self-educated, to be community leaders, and it would be difficult for me to pick one person just because my family plays such a huge role. But if I say my family plays such a huge role, I have to go back to my great-grandfather because of what he instilled. He's got scholarships named after him. They're like 2 buildings with his name on it. So when I see that, I can't help but be inspired. And of course, along the way, there have been coaches and mentors that have added, fuel to that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. I also saw something on Facebook that you and your wife have 2 children now.
Yes.
So how has fatherhood changed you, Troy?
How is it not?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I have a soon-to-be 3-year-old. He's home from school right now, and then we've got a 6-month-old. So my son is just such an amazing, brilliant, this gifted kid. So it goes back to even somewhat of my conversation about my great-grandfather, is that I see legacy now. I think about the things that I'm a part of, and how does it affect my children? How does it affect those around him? Like, what example am I setting? It definitely puts so many other things into perspective. As you can tell, I've been very fortunate to be a part of a lot of things, but I had to step back from quite a few things at a certain point just to make sure that I was prioritizing. And so obviously priorities change, and then now with the baby girl, that adds a whole other component to things where I'm like, all right, my son's over here. I'm like, all right, go sit down. And I'm pick my baby girl up. I'm like, okay, it's okay. So it definitely helps, and time management becomes so critical.
Yeah. Now we have to mention your wife's name just because. Yes. Don't forget about her.
Yes, my lovely wife Kim, who we actually met in college, and we actually worked in entertainment for some time together.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, we're done. Anything else that you would like to share? Since you dropped by here, anything else on your mind?
Well, I just want to say I'm grateful. I'm just blessed. I'm grateful for the opportunity. I've been putting in work for quite a long time, and the momentum is building up. We're excited about where things are going. I appreciate you bringing me on. Hopefully you all can come out and check out the festival, which is August 18th through the 20th in Bronzeville and Hyde Park. And the one thing I will say is that this summer, is a kickoff, because this is just a 3-day activation. We're actually planning the 10-day activation for summer 2024 right now as well. Wow. So we're already excited about the direction this is going even next year.
All right, good enough. Well, thank you. And you heard it here first, and that is all. Click like and subscribe. Thank you, bud.
Thank you.
It's good.
Appreciate
good.
you.
Yes, indeed. All right.